marching onto the field is the United States Army Maneuver Center of Excellence Band, under the direction of Sergeant First Class Philip Andrew. The drum major for today is Staff Sergeant Corey Walton. Dates back to 1916, and the band was first organized in El Paso, Texas as the 34th Infantry Band of the 34th Infantry Regiment. During its time with the 34th Infantry Regiment, the band earned campaign participation credit in World War I in Lorraine, France. The band served for many years in Fort Benning, Georgia, until it was inactivated in June of 1940. In October of 1942, the band was reactivated in Scoville Barracks, Hawaii, and this time aligned with the 136th Infantry Regiment. The band was called to support overseas efforts during wartime before being deactivated again in December of 1946. After several reorganizations and redesignations, the band was finally activated once again on Fort Benning, Georgia in 1955 as the 283rd Army Band. In 2009, during Fort Benning's transformation to Fort Knox, the band was officially designated as the Maneuver Center of Excellence Band. We welcome you today on behalf of all the men and women of today's Army, for they are the strength of the nation, ready today and prepared for tomorrow. time, I would ask you all to please rise and join the MCOE band in singing God Bless America. The MCOE band, with its 8 performing groups, accomplishes over 500 missions a year in support of the military and civilian communities in and around Fort Benning. The band lives by the Maneuver Center of Excellence motto, one force, one fight. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for your Maneuver Center of Excellence band!
Abrams-made battle tank weighs in at over 67 tons and has a top speed of 5 miles per hour. It is armed with 2 7.62mm machine guns, 1 50 caliber machine gun, and a 120mm minigun with the capability of engaging targets at ranges of over 2 miles. The tank platoon's ability to shoot, move, and communicate, and do so with armored protection provided by the Abrams tank is a decisive factor on the modern battlefield. The tank platoon is capable of conducting offensive, defensive, and stability tasks in support of unified planned operations. The tank platoon can survive and win in battle, however, only if it is well trained, effectively led, and highly motivated. Tank crews must be aggressive and their tactics must reflect the tempo and intensity of maneuver warfare. Contact, enemy tracked vehicle on the hill to our left. All enemy vehicles are destroyed. Let's give a round of applause for our victorious tankers. donate to the said main battle tanks have the firepower and precision to engage and destroy any armored vehicle and infantry on today's modern battlefield. Ladies and gentlemen, the United States Army Tank Crew. Each tank crew is equipped with a 9mm pistol as a personal weapon, while 2 crew members hold an additional M4 rifle. The crew's uniform consists of the fire-resistant Army combat uniform, which includes fall vest, gloves, balaclava. Additionally, the Combat Vehicle Crewman Helmet, or CVC, is worn as protection for the head and ears and is the primary means of communication within the vehicle. Finally, the most important article of all, the tanker boot. The U.S. military tanker boot is well established and very recognizable among field gear due to its unique design. This sturdy boot has a drilled down purpose and can't be mistaken for any other footwear. The U.S. Army tank crew consists of the loader,
March to the front!
assists in target detection and identification. The loader loads, unloads, clears, and performs misfire procedures on the main gun. The loader also loads, fires, clears, and applies immediate action for his or her respective station. The driver
Speed and power!
maneuvers the tank over varied terrain and roadways in combat formation and armor marches. The driver maintains orientation with the intentions of securing and concealing the Abrams in firing position. The gunner
Seek, strike, destroy!
performs primary duties as gunner and secondary duties as tank commander. The gunner fires, adjusts fire, engages and destroys enemy utilizing the main gun and coaxial machine gun. And the tank commander
We can, we will!
commands and controls all elements within the vehicle and platoon. The tank commander supervises, coordinates, distributes fields of fire and sectors of fire to successfully engage and destroy all enemies. The tank commander directs tactical movement, coordinates resupplies, employs OPSEC, and evaluates wounded crew members. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in a round of applause for the tanker. distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, friends and relatives. I am First Lieutenant Grad, your narrator for today's ceremony. On behalf of the 194th Armored Brigade Commander, Colonel Scott T. Allen, the Battalion Commander, Lieutenant Colonel Bradley S. Nelson, and the Battalion Command Sergeant Major Brandon M. Peterson, we welcome you to the graduation ceremony for Bulldog Company 181 Armor. We are pleased that so many of you have taken the time to travel here and take part in observing your soldier for the first time. This ceremony marks the culmination of 16 long weeks of rigorous and intense training. These young soldiers are capable of contributing from day one as members of a combined arms team able to operate in a full spectrum environment. We are proud of them for their accomplishments. We want this to be a memorable occasion. Please feel free to take photographs at any time during the ceremony. However, please do not walk onto the parade field and be considerate of others attending today's ceremony. Before we begin today's ceremony, are there any veterans or military personnel in our audience? Please stand or raise your hand to be recognized. Now on the parade field is Bulldog Company, led by the commander of troops for today's ceremony, is Captain Scott D. Johnson. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the arrival of the official party. Please be seated. Reviewing today's ceremony is the Red Knights Battalion Commander, Lieutenant Colonel Bradley S. Nelson, and the Command Sergeant Major Brandon M. Peterson. At this time, the reviewing officer accompanies the line, performing the final inspection of these soldiers before they depart into the force. The form of inspection you will watch dates back to the time of Alexander the Great. Historically, prior to the soldiers marching off to war, the commanding officer would inspect their soldiers to ensure that they were prepared for battle. They would check their uniforms, weapons, and equipment, as well as their strength of spirit as fighting men. This soon developed into a ceremonial tradition. Today as then, it provides commanders the opportunity to see their companies and assess their fitness. The 81st Armored Regiment was activated on October 1st, 1941 at Fort Knox, Kentucky. Born in the dark days prior to the country's involvement in World War II, the nation called on the Red Knights and the regiment answered the call to duty. In early 1942, the 81st Armored Regiment was moved to California with orders to defend California, the 81st Tank Battalion headed to Europe in July of 1944 to participate in the Battle of Normandy and Northern France. The second battalion was reformed as Company Bravo, 81st Armored, and was successful in liberating Luxembourg City on December 10, 1944. As December 1944 closed, the battalion entered the Earth Force in the Baltic terrain region of France. The battalion then was successfully refitted for the final push into Germany. The unit spearheaded the 5th Armored Division arrived to the Rhine River and became the first unit to cross the Big Three line, crossing into the Rhineland in March of 1945. It then drove to the Elbe, 45 miles from Berlin, and was tasked with mounting up German resistance in the 9th Army sector. Upon returning from the battlefields of Europe, the battalion was deactivated in the fall of 1945. It was again active from 1948 to 1956 with the 5th Armored Division at Fort Chad, Arkansas. In 1962, the 81st and the 94th Tank Battalions, along with the command of the Fire Arms Regimental System. The 1st and 2nd Battalions were assigned to the 1st Armored Division in February of that year. The 2nd Battalion served in West Germany in 1972. It was then deactivated in 1989. The 2nd Battalion was once again reactivated in January of 1996 as part of the 1st Armored Training Brigade at Fort Knox, Canada. Since the battalion moved to Fort Benning, Georgia in 2011, and the 81st Armored Regiment only had trained armed soldiers, but marine tankers, and our nation's allies as well.
Sir, persons to recognize the colors of the president. Present the command. Present. Present. Mark. Attachment. Present. Present. Mark.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the playing of the national anthem and remain standing for the invocation given by Chaplain Carvalho Perry.
this morning. If we may single out one request, we will ask you to help us realize all that this ceremony signifies. The opportunities afforded by our country, the gift of the mind and body you have put on us, and the charge you have given us to make our world, a better place in which to live. We're grateful for these opportunities for development within the framework of our military. We ask your blessings on all of those involved in the administration and teaching capacities of Bravo Company. In special, we ask you to bless and protect our graduates by helping them to make their areas a better place to be and to touch the life of those around them, especially the less fortunate. We ask these blessings with gratitude for all that you did to us. In the most holy name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Commander of 1st Battalion, 81st Armored Regiment, Lieutenant Colonel Bradley S. Nelson.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Lieutenant Colonel Brad Nelson, the proud commander of 1st Battalion, 81st Armored Regiment, and thank you again for attending B Company 181 Armor's graduation ceremony. On behalf of our brigade commander, Colonel Allen, and all of our distinguished guests, we appreciate your attendance here this morning and your continued support for the battalion. Special acknowledgement to the Maneuver Center of Excellence Band. You always bring a touch of class to each of our graduations. Sound great. Thank you very much. Now, friends and families of the graduating soldiers of Bulldog Company 181 Armor, welcome to Harmony Church on Fort Benning, Georgia. This is the home of Armor and Cavalry. Came to the right place. To the soldiers of Bulldog Company, congratulations on your remarkable accomplishments. It's been a long 4 months of grueling and rewarding training. I have observed your transformation from civilians into soldiers and finally into 19-kilo armor crewmen, otherwise and better known as United States Army tankers. Almost 4 months ago, you all spilled out of the buses behind me here and met your very patient, caring, and loving drill sergeants. That's what they tell me. You were quickly introduced to the Army Physical Fitness Program, the Army Values, issued your very first M4 rifle. During the next weeks, your mettle was tested on the obstacle course, on the confidence tower, the night infiltration course, and many, many hot days on the Fort Benning rifle ranges. Later, you trained on your warrior tasks, learned how to work as a team during your field training exercises, and after you completed those basic combat training phases, we had Family Day, and then you were introduced to the M1 Abrams main battle tank, the most lethal and battle-tested tank on the planet. It's an awesome machine, as we got to see earlier. We won a battle. You spent the last 6 weeks of OSIT in the motor pool, in simulators, on the range, in the training areas, learning how to properly maintain, fuel, load, drive, and shoot that magnificent beast. You've achieved so much, and now you're ready to become a valuable member of a tank crew out in the operating force. I'm proud of everything you have accomplished and look forward to serving alongside you as you join the Army ranks dedicated to protecting and defending this incredible nation. Now, of course, we know these tankers would not be standing here in formation if it weren't for the outstanding training, development, and mentorship they've received over their time here. I'd like to recognize the Bulldog Company command team, the tank commanders, for your hard work and dedication. You mold civilians into armor crewmen, and your performance and the results are remarkable. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in a round of applause for the Bulldog cadre. All right, Bulldog tankers, I want you to invest in this exact moment on this field where all American tankers formally joined our branch, Armor, which is the combat arm of decision. You are surrounded by symbols and artifacts of our nation, our profession, and our combat arm. You're flanked by our state's flags. They're behind you, all 50 of them, with the national colors out front, of course. These symbols of our great nation are guarded symbolically by armored vehicles, which form an unbroken perimeter around Brave Rifles Field. The M24 Chaffee, used in World War II in Korea and named after Major General Adna Chaffee, the father of the Armored Force. He was a pioneer into integrating the tank into combined arms maneuver. The M4 Sherman, the workhorse of the armored divisions that helped win World War II. The M41 Bulldog, used to fight and win in Korea, all the way to the M1 Abrams tank right behind you, which fought in Desert Storm, of course, the latest Iraq war for more than a decade. You are the latest in an extraordinary line of American tankers that crewed this remarkable battle-proven equipment. Don't miss this moment. Here now, on this field, you're passing into the legacy created by the thousands of U.S. Army tankers that are symbolized by the 16 World War II Armored Division monuments surrounding this field. I'm very, very proud of you. I know you'll live up to that legacy. I'll end there and leave you with a quote from one of the most lethal and famous U.S. Army tankers ever, Staff Sergeant Don Collier, maybe better known as Brad Pitt from the movie Fury. Whenever he talked about being a tanker, he said the best job I ever had. And I think we all agree with him. Congratulations again, tankers. I appreciate it. If you take pictures of the graduation day, if you'll tag me on Twitter, that'd be awesome. One force, one fight, forge the Thunderbolt, battle hard. Red Knights, thank you.
The soldiers graduating today come from many parts of the United States. The flags of the 50 states displayed here today symbolize the broad base of our national defense. At the completion of each training cycle, soldiers from the company are selected for awards based on their achievements in the various areas of one station unit training. All of the soldiers in the company are eligible for these awards and have competed for them over the past 16 weeks. The instructor of the cycle is presented to the tank instructor who contributed the most to the successful mission of training 19-kilo armored crewmen. This cycle's recipient is Staff Sergeant Bryce Kent. The Association of the United States Army Patent Award is presented to the soldier of each training cycle who best expresses the qualities of leadership, honor, initiative, loyalty, high morale, courage, positive attitude, and consistent competitive spirit which inspires peers and cadre. This cycle's awardee is Specialist Alexander Rodriguez. The Armor and Cavalry Leadership Award is presented to the soldier who has shown the most leadership skills throughout the cycle and the potential for future leadership roles. This cycle's awardee is Private Joseph Adams. The High Physical Fitness Award is presented to the soldier who achieved the highest on the final Army Physical Fitness test. This test includes push-ups, sit-ups, and the 2-mile run. This cycle's awardee with a score of 300 out of 300 is Private Eleuterio Rodriguez. The High Pistol Marksmanship Award is presented to the soldier who achieves the highest score on the M9 Pistol Marksmanship course. This cycle's awardee with a score of 30 out of 30 is Private Austin Cocker. The High Rifle Marksmanship Award is presented to the soldier who achieves the highest score on the M4 Carbine Rifle Marksmanship course. This cycle's awardee with a score of 39 out of 40 is Private Giovanni Leon. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a round of applause for all the awardees. The leaders most responsible for training your soldiers are the drill sergeants. The Department of the Army carefully selects each drill sergeant from the top 10% of all staff sergeants in Sergeant's First Class. The recital of the Drill Sergeant Creed will be led by the Drill Sergeant of the Cycle, Drill Sergeant Jesse Reed from Columbus, Nebraska. Drill Sergeant Reed was selected for this distinction due to his demonstrated qualities of leadership, commitment, and by contributing the most to the successful completion of the 19-kilo training cycle.
I am a drill sergeant. I will assist each individual in their efforts to become a highly motivated, well-disciplined, physically and mentally fit soldier, capable of defeating any enemy on today's modern battlefield.
I will instill pride in all I train, pride in self, in the Army, and in country. I will insist that each soldier meets and maintains the Army standards of military bearing and courtesy consistent with the highest traditions of the U.S. Army.
I will lead by example, never requiring a soldier to attempt any task I would not do myself. But first, last, and always, I am an American soldier, sworn to defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, both foreign and domestic.
I am a drill sergeant.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Soldier's Creed is the standard for all soldiers to live by. The Soldier's Creed helps soldiers understand that despite very diverse backgrounds, all soldiers are warriors and members of a team. We invite all soldiers, both past and present, to stand and join us as the Armor and Cavalry Leadership Awardee, Private Joseph Adams, will lead his fellow soldiers in reciting the Creed.
The Soldier's Creed!
The Soldier's Creed! I'm an American soldier! I'm born in never routine! I serve the people of the United States to live in open values! I will always place the mission first! I will never accept defeat! I will never quit! I will never leave a fallen comrade! I am disciplined, physically and mentally tough, trained and proficient in my work, tests, and drills! I will always maintain my arms, my equipment, and myself! I am an expert and I am a professional! I stand ready to deploy, engage, and destroy the enemy's United States of America in close combat! I am guarding freedom in every way of life! I am an American soldier!
Pass and review!
Ladies and gentlemen, as the soldiers pass to your front, we invite you to take pictures, so please stay in your seats. When the national colors pass to your front, we ask that you please rise. Once the colors pass your location, you may be seated again. The United States Army Maneuver Center of Excellence Band, led by Drum Major Staff Sergeant Porter, and under the direction of Sergeant First Class Andrews. led by Drill Sergeant Jesse Reed, Columbus, Grad. First platoon is led by Drill Sergeant Ryan T. Sparks from Las Vegas, Nevada. Please be patient while your soldier completes their out processing of the organization. You may move back to the company area while your new soldier completes out processing. Thank you for coming, and please have a safe trip home.
So, you see your graduation class like every 16, 18 weeks. So she gets straight graduation.